Okay, if you're back, here we go. Part 2 of this hour and 20-minute video. Three cops. Somebody saying hurry up. We have another cop here, so that's 4. That's where, when they did the briefing, they said they had 6 cops in there within a few minutes. And there's shots being fired. All training and all protocol said these guys should have forced that door and went in and shot him. I mean, 2 could have went in one door, 2 could have went in the other door, 4 could have went through one door, 1 could have did a distraction on one door, and 3 enter the other door. There are a lot of easy, quick, simple things to enter a room with 2 separate doors to distract the shooter and to increase your chances of survival to take this piece of shit out. But you need to go in. You can't be in a hallway being a fucking pussy. I know I didn't want to say the F word, but I just can't help it. So 3 up here, 4, 5, and 6. During the briefing, they talked about 6 people in the room. Basically, what they did is go through this video and put time hacks on what changed. Another one. 7. So these 2 are down here, and I think they're looking at the room, the second room. This guy is holding this door. I don't even know if he knows the door. I don't know if these guys know that these rooms are connected. They may just be going to the door that they saw that was shot up, or he was in that room, so they went forward. This is where I'm going to cut the cops some slack. Look, you don't know. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You go into the unknown because that's your freaking job. Plus there's kids in there. Even if it wasn't your job, there's kids in there being slaughtered, and you have a gun, a vest, long gun, superior power, numbers. You have all the advantages. You don't hide in a freaking hallway like a coward. This is why the cops didn't want this video released. This is why government doesn't want it released. They don't want you to know how incompetent when they ask for more officers to keep you safe. And we need to take your guns to keep you safe because we'll protect you. Even though the Supreme Court said there's no duty act, and none of these cops are getting charged with anything. These cops could literally sit down right here, eat donuts, and smoke a cigarette, and there's not a damn thing that could happen to any of them, and they would still get paid. That's a problem with no accountability. So it looks like there's multiple cops on the other side up here. If you look, there's a couple cops on this side of the door. Bad crossfire, I get it. Working hallways, multiple entries. Normally, when you're clearing a building, for tactics-wise, you never enter at multiple locations to any house, room, clearing, etc. Very important in a briefing before we're doing any type of high-risk warrant. And our entry team is like, hey, you guys are on the outside to catch people running out of the house. You don't come in, and we don't come out. Any other doors, we walk in the same door and we come out the same door. That's the front door. And that way you minimize this setting up of a crossfire, shooting a friendly, etc. In this case, you can't do that. So I'm going to cut the cops some slack for not having tactics. Their training was and supposed to be, you find the shooter and you kill him. Period. These cops appear to be going to the shooting. These cops appear to be being safe and worried about officer safety. Okay, people, I know you're going to think I'm just blowing my horn and I'm talking shit. If I knew there was a shooter in here, you can bet your ass I would not be here. I would be down here like, what the fuck are we doing? Let's go. Are you ready? You go there. Ready? Go 1, 2, 3. Let's get the fuck in here. Throw down some cover fire. I would not be standing here. This is bullshit. And there's going to be some pansy ass blue line lover hero coming here. Man, it's easy for him to talk shit, but it's really scary. Shut up, you freaking pansies. I love going into hot shit. That was the fun part of the job. Freaking hiding. So these guys appear to be getting down or laying down. These guys over here, I'm assuming, because I never saw the chief here. The chief's a bald-headed, pretty big, tall guy, and I never see him. So I'm thinking one of these guys over here might be the chief. They're going to take rounds here in a minute, and they're going to run. See, from a tactics position, and I know it's easy to sit back here and say money more quiet, but just when tactics, you're always preparing, covering exits, multiplying your forces, increasing your ability to hold this door. He should have all these cops up here. Guys should be having an angle into this door, getting intel. Maybe two guys here, a long gun and a guy on his knee, and one guy standing over him covering this area. These officers could be used to minimize, and if the shooter walks by or whatever, it's target of opportunity. You kill his ass. But you can't kill him if you're hiding down here like a scared freaking coward. And here's where they run. So this is the part when it first came out. If you remember, the news media reported officers tried to engage the shooter and ran in bravely, and the shooter engaged them, and they had to disengage because they were outgunned. Because that mean AR-15 was more than the cops had, and they had to retreat. Remember that shit? If you go back and watch the original footage, that's what they were trying to sell us. That's not what happened. These guys had long guns. They had numbers. They had the ability. They've got bulletproof vests. But Rick, the bulletproof vest doesn't protect them for a big freaking deal. A bulletproof vest doesn't protect your head either. But you don't run just because somebody's shooting at you, especially when there's innocent children being slaughtered. It's just bullshit, no matter how you call it. And they run off. So here's the guy with the long gun, Officer Tatum. Mr. They were outgunned and didn't have a gun, and they didn't have the numbers, and they had to wait for backup, and they had to wait for the SWAT team. Come on, Tate. Freaking admit it. Either you got bad info or you made a bad decision. You keep dying on this freaking hill, and you're losing a whole lot of credibility every freaking day. But you know what? Maybe having views or whatever is more important than being honest and having credibility. So they abandon. They never go in. They don't return fire. We know this from the briefing. They never fired in the door. They basically took rounds and ran. Perfect. That's almost like the definition of cowardice. Cowardice under fire. I mean, what? You abandon children with no guns, no vest, no way to protect themselves. And you heroes with guns are down here. Officer safety. Absolutely outrageous. Now, although this guy doesn't appear to be the most tactically savvy guy, he is demonstrating, out of these guys, the most motivation and initiative to kind of want to do something. He really doesn't know, and again, when you're working with cops, you're always going to have different levels of experience. You get cops that show up that's got 1 year experience. You get cops that's been there for 20 years and they're about to retire and they don't give a shit. Then you got some cops in the middle. You may have a field training officer that gets there that kind of a little bit more willing to take charge and start giving direction. You may have a meat eater there that shows up and says, what the fuck are we doing? Let's go. Let's get a plan. Let's do something. You may have a sergeant show up that doesn't want to make a decision. He's like, hold on. We don't want to work too fast. We don't have enough information. Let's just stabilize. So you've always got all these multiple personalities there. But all that goes out the window when you have kids being slaughtered. I mean, any excuse that any cop wants to come up with for this is bullshit. And I told you I was going to cut these guys a little slack about they don't know the layout, they haven't planned, they don't have a drawing, nobody's familiar, you have multiple agencies playing close, everybody's on. Who cares? You got a freaking gun? Follow me. Okay? Lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. But this just standing down here is just horrible. Again, this goes back to lack of correct training, lack of standards. You train people to the lowest standard so you can hire people that shouldn't be in the job because of what bathroom they use. And then you lower the standards so much that you have a bunch of incompetent, non-thinking, non-type A, non-action type people. And you wonder why they allowed all these kids to be slaughtered. Well, I'm pretty sure the parents of this video knows now that government will never be the same at protecting you or your family as you yourself, which is why you should never give up your ability to defend yourself and own a gun. Government owns guns. They have vests. They have money. They're getting paid. They have numbers. And they have protection from the Supreme Court that they have no duty to do anything. And you want to give these people the ability to protect you and give up your right to own a gun? That pretty much makes you an idiot. So this guy keeps rubbing his head and checking for blood, which is normal if you get an impact. I'm thinking a piece of glass, shrapnel, something hit him in the head, and he can't believe it. He thinks he was shot, and it probably stings, and that's why he keeps going to his head. I mean, I get that. So, if I want to pat these cops on the butt and say, good job, I could say, you know what? At least they didn't give up the hallway. At least they took up positions. And if he came out, they could kill him. But that's just wrong. It's bullshit. That's not what their training is. Everybody's always calling cops need more training. These guys had multiple training exercises on this in the recent months and 2 years prior to this. So this is not a training issue. This is a lack of accountability. They know they don't have to do anything, so they get to ignore their training, even if we spend millions of dollars in giving them more training. If they don't have to follow their training, what's the use? So I'm not cutting these guys slack for holding it. They need to be charging that freaking door and stopping this piece of shit. You just hate cops. Whatever. I don't think this guy's even looked around the corner yet. He's just standing there holding his gun at a low ready, which is kind of useless. Holster your gun or get in a freaking fight, dude. Quit standing here like you look cool. Why isn't anybody following this guy? Why are they letting this guy go by himself? Why? Rick, they don't understand, and they're waiting for who's in charge. And it was very, very confusing, Rick, and it's a very dangerous, and you don't understand. Officers say, shut up with all that bullshit. Every freaking swinging dick here ought to be on this guy's ass saying, let's go get this guy. Absolutely outrageous. When you have indecisiveness like this guy wants to do something and he's trying to do something, but he's not getting support. So it's holding him back. And right here, I mean, I was never the most tactful guy. I've never been accused as, Rick, you're really, really tactful and you're really good at talking to people and really getting your point across in a non-threatening. I've never been accused of that. I've been like, get your fucking ass up here. Why are you motherfuckers back there? Get on my back and let's fucking move. I don't see immediate here. I see nervous, scared, lack of training, lack of street savvy, and kids are freaking dying, people. I mean, how can anybody defend this? Now, at this point, I can't tell if there's negotiation. Is this guy, that what I'm hearing, all this noise, is that him yelling at inside? Or is this guy communicating? So there's a lot of, you know, if I was making this video if I was working this case and I had this video, I would have the full unedited video. And then in my video, I would say, this guy is talking. This guy is communication. Voices are coming out of here. You know, kids are screaming for help. Over the radio, there was this that was just announced. I would be having pop-ups explaining all this so anybody that doesn't understand this would have a better understanding and more information. I mean, the fact they released the video is good, but it's still not able to really evaluate everything that was going on. Still gunshots. So this shit about, oh, we thought it was a hostage situation. We thought that there wasn't any kids in there. We didn't know he was killing kids. I didn't have my phone. My radio didn't work in the building. All that is bullshit. I don't need a radio to communicate with 5 other guys with guns with me. I don't need a radio. I can freaking yell. I can scream. I can put rounds through that door. I'm a cop. I can do whatever the hell I want. This is all about free choice. Each one of these cops have the complete autonomy and protection from the federal government that they cannot be sued even if they jump in there and spray and pray the whole room and they end up killing 10 kids because they just shot everything that moved. They have complete protection. Nothing can be done to them. And yet, they do nothing. Out freaking outrageous. I'm going to start bumping so I can get some movement here. So this guy goes up here, kind of gathers intel, doesn't really know, backs up, nobody's with him. And they take up this position. So this guy keeps messing with his vest and trying to correct it, which tells me his mind's going a mile a minute. He thinks he was shot. He did the right thing. He ran in, he tried to engage, and he really hasn't, like, just backed up and said, look, we got to get a plan. Let me fix my freaking vest. You guys need to Congo line up. Who's leading? Am I leading? Somebody else want to lead? Give me a fucking long gun. If you don't want to use your long gun, give me that fucking rifle, and I'll take it. But he just, maybe he doesn't have the training. Maybe he's kind of in panic mode. He is trying, but he's not being very effective. This guy's being really good at protecting himself and hiding. This guy's being really good at protecting himself. Nobody's being real good at protecting the unarmed freaking kids. Are you kidding me? Long gun back here that Tatum said wasn't there. So this guy started to crawl. You don't want to crawl in this. This guy is just, this is kind of what you call panic under fire, or you just can't make a decision. He is going in and out of, I want to do something. I know I should be doing something. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not getting direction. I don't know what to do. Let me try this. This doesn't work. I'm not real sure. This is what's going through his mind a mile a minute, okay? But what should be going through his mind, we have to get in and engage this fucking maniac so he stops killing kids. We have to get in there so we can give medical aid to the people that have been shot. That's what should be going through all their minds. And anybody defending these guys just has no integrity whatsoever. Again, I don't know if he's communicating with someone over here, if they're talking, if they're giving hand signals. Doesn't matter. Everyone got the same training. When you have an active shooter, you go in and you engage and kill, or he will continue to kill. It's not rocket science. That's what it is. That's the training. That's your job. You have bulletproof vests. You go through academies. You go through tactics training. You carry a gun. You're running around outside arresting parents that want to come in and save their kids. And you arrest them outside, and then you come inside and hide. So he's kind of, what I call here is this burnout phase. The adrenaline pump is hit. He's running. He's panicking there. And now it's like, he's like, I'm kind of losing it. This relaxed kind of stance here is not because he feels safe. It's because his body's kind of shut down a little bit from the adrenaline pump. Still checking his head. Still kind of confused and dazed. Everyone's looking for direction. Nobody's giving it. Nobody wants to step up. Rick, that's a small agency, and they don't have a lot of cops, and you don't understand, and this is very tough, and they don't deal. I don't care. I don't freaking care, people. It doesn't matter. There's kids getting killed. No matter what argument you give me, the answer is the same. It doesn't matter. Their training, if they had a set of balls, their man instincts would be to charge and protect their children. Cowards! Rick, it's not fair. All cops are heroes. You just hate them because they slept with your wife. Shut up. That's stupid shit. Alright, I'm bumping. Because there is a whole lot of standing around and doing nothing. So if you want to go back and just watch all this, I'm kind of bumping 5 seconds here to show the indecisive, the talking, the another guy with a long gun. He checks his head. They're all hiding. You know what? Everybody's saying, you know, they weren't trained and they didn't know. You know what training they did remember? On how to take cover, how to hide, how to not expose yourself. They remembered that training. Rick, why are you picking on the cops? Whatever. More long guns, more cops, more discussion, more indecisive. Remember, people, all this time, kids are bleeding out, dying, scared. They're calling 911 asking. They're calling 911 saying, we hear the police in the hallway. Why aren't they coming in? Even a child recognizes that that's just not right. But none of the heroes could figure it out. Outrageous. Boy, lots of talking, lots of planning, lots of guns, lots of vests, lots of people. No, Rick, according to Tatum, they had to wait for backup. They were outnumbered and outgunned. Okay, whatever. Don't watch him. Don't come here and tell me how great he is and how you watch him and how wrong he is. Go watch him. If you think he's honest and you can trust him and he's defending these guys, go watch him. Lots of standing around. Lots of hiding around corners. Lots of practicing officer safety. Wow. Wow. Rick, all cops are heroes. Wow. Just a reminder, I'm bumping through all this and all this time is passing, in case some of you guys forgot it. There's kids in here getting slaughtered and killed and bleeding out and dying. And there's a crazy man in there with a gun. And no one has checked the door. No one has fired around. No one has tried to do anything but protect themselves and talk. Wow. I'm bumping. Just because I'm bumping doesn't mean the shooter isn't there killing. Doesn't mean kids aren't in there bleeding out. Let's not forget that. I know it's easy when you're sitting here watching this to think that this is a training video and the cops are just hanging around and they're checking their guns and cleaning their hands and leaning against walls and correcting their vest and all the things that, you know, they had to do. I mean, Rick, it's unreasonable to think that they should have went in and taken a risk to save helpless unarmed kids. Why are you requiring so much for them, Rick? Why don't you cut them some slack? Why do you hate police? All the little blue line punks will be coming here defending these guys. Any of you cops watch this? Say it in the video and call these guys out. Don't be scared. It's okay. Not all cops are perfect. Not all cops are great. It's okay to point that out. More people, new long guns, more people, more discussion, more talking, more hiding, more non-action. Rick, this was a very high risk. Oh, a shield. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Tate said there was no shields. No long guns. They were outgunned. They had to wait, Rick. Okay, whatever. More bullshit. More believing the government bullshit lies. This is why this video was so important to be released. I'm bumping. I mean, this is a very long video. Every time you see this little 5 seconds here, I am advancing this 5 seconds. This is a lot of 5 seconds of no action and hiding and lots of long guns and lots of shields and lots of inaction and lots of guy in there with a gun killing kids and kids bleeding out. How can anyone defend this? Rick, they weren't trained and they were from different agencies and it was a very complex and fluid moving situation. You shut up. Shut up with that shit. Absolutely ridiculous. So now we're going to clear this door because we don't want to go down here and actually confront the real bad guy with a gun that we know where he's at. Let's look like we're doing something back here and just clear these doors. Now they actually find a teacher in there. I think she runs out or some sort of administrator. I'm surprised they didn't fill her full of lead. But in action, talking, looking, open the door. And I think a woman comes running out here. Did I miss the woman? Maybe I bumped past the woman. I thought a woman came out. So we had 8, 9, 5, 6 cops going here. Lots of clearing. Wow, we did something. We cleared the room that's safe. We know the shooter's down here, but we're going to go in here. I mean, it's just absurd how anybody can defend this. Now, let me defend a little bit. If these guys just showed up and they don't know what's going on, and they show up and they're like, has anybody cleared this room? And somebody said no, and those guys went in and cleared it, then I'm okay with what they did. But if these cops are the same one that's been hiding behind these freaking walls for the last 12 minutes or the last 32 minutes, 32 minutes they've been hiding, if it's the same guys that cleared this, then I'm calling cowards and pussy. Alright? Lots of standing around, lots of long gun, lots of helmets, lots of thousands of dollars of police gear bought by taxpayers. So you don't need a gun because the government will come and save you. And because you give your kids to a government-run school, the government will save and protect them. And when you give government the ability to do all that, they get to do this. And there's nothing you can do. You feel safe now? Maybe this is a wake-up call. We'll start bumping up. Because we'll be here forever watching these guys stand around. Lots of standing, lots of guns. We know where the shooter's at. We know he's in there. We know kids are bleeding. We know he's trapped. No, Rick, it turned into a hostage. It never turns into a hostage. He's an active shooter. Hostage negotiations happen when the shooter wants something. This guy doesn't want anything. He wants to go in there and kill him to kill. He wants suicide by cop. He wants to go out in a blaze of glory. This is not a hostage. Anytime somebody says this is a hostage situation, you need to call bullshit. So this is a different video of the other hallway. I'm thinking down here, and I'm thinking this is where the chief's at. I don't see him, or maybe I do see him and I didn't pick him out. If somebody knows where he's at, put a time hack in a comment on where the chief was. Because so far in the video, I watched the whole video, and I don't think I ever saw the chief, but I heard he was there. So here's these guys standing here. Lots of guys hiding. Lots of guys there. Not a lot of action. So I'm wondering if this right here is the front of this. I can't really tell. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 long guns. I'm not sure I see 4 long guns here. So I don't know if this is, it looks like these guys, this video is coming from here, shining on these guys. But I could be wrong. Again, if I was doing this as some sort of educational video to show the higher-ups or to demonstrate in court, I would have pop-ups explaining and pauses and things like that. Look at all these freaking cops. And that's not the cops on this side. Wow. Wow. It was a very dangerous situation, Rick. And the main job of an officer is to go home. Normally, that's what cops are told. Your main job on the shift is to go home at the end of shift. Don't recklessly risk your life. Don't become a victim. But There's kids bleeding and dying. Okay? Those excuses may work on a normal day. This isn't normal. Look at all these cops and long guns. Rick Tatum said they were outgunned. Okay. And they didn't have any shields, really? Okay. And they didn't have any long guns, really? Okay. Okay. I guess I'll get my information from Tatum. I never saw a video and was saying they had long guns. There's no way guys run into an active shooter and don't have a long gun. I knew that, and I didn't see the video. Tatum had an inside guy and said they didn't have it. Okay. I mean, it may sound like I'm being hard on Tatum, but I know a lot of you guys watch him, and I think he can make a lot of points by admitting that he's wrong. And it's okay. We make mistakes, and we don't know. But to die on this hill that cops are perfect, and they did a good job, and they weren't cowards, and they were good guys, whatever. Each his own. More cops, more cops, more cops. Now, I'm wondering if this is another video footage here, because this guy in a red shirt, I thought I saw on this end of the hallway. So I'm wondering if this is just another body. Again, this isn't really explained well. I wonder if this is the chief. I don't know. Okay, so here's the red shirt. Okay, so I think this guy right here is this guy right here. Same type of patch. And his rifle is over a tan helmet, and this rifle is over a tan helmet. So this is another angle of this end of the hallway. I had that wrong earlier. 32 minutes here, right? Part 3? Yeah, I guess I do. Alright, let me pause this, and we will make a part 3.